I want to stop women ever feeling apologetic about anything. I think that there's so many inroads, but there's still a long way to go, and I want women to feel empowered and confident because we're all capable of much more than we often give ourselves credit for, and I'm so disheartened by the fact that women are often apologetic about how brilliant they can be. So I think just if we could remove that, I think we would push ourselves that extra bit.
I think there are many things that I'd want to change. I think the pressure on young people to conform to a certain way or a certain image is so huge now, and I think that's really hard.
One thing I would have to be boring and say control over their reproductive rights. I think if women worldwide had that authority over their reproductive rights, then I think we would see incredible change and progress.
I'd like for women to not feel under constant threat. That would be really good. Physically, emotionally, mentally. I think that would be really good for women to be completely free and to not feel that they've constantly got to be on their guard all the time. That would be good.
I think I would change for women in the world today the idea that we constantly have to pre-modify everything with women. Like, we are people, men are people, women are people, and I think it's important just to be looked at as people. Like, I find it sometimes exhausting to have to constantly define myself as a woman. I'm a broadcaster, I'm not a female broadcaster, so I think I would just take it away. I would just sometimes just take gender out of it. It's not always about gender, so I would sometimes just like to neutralise that.
I wish women weren't as underestimated as they can be, because we're capable of a lot.
If I could change something for women in the world, it would be the right to education. I've been doing a lot of work with Hoppen Homes for Children in Rwanda and in Ethiopia with ActionAid, and seeing how important it is that women are educated or get the right to be educated.
Well, one of the main things I changed for women in the world today is the way that we see ourselves and the way that other people see us, or we're seen in general as a large within the world. I think we've come so far, and we have to celebrate that and acknowledge that, but also we've got so far to go, because ultimately all of us have equal value, and the more we can do to educate ourselves, the more we can appreciate that across the world, not only in our cultures but cultures around the globe.
I think it's whatever happens about age 14 to girls when they suddenly stop being interested in science, and I have no idea why that is, and it's a problem we seriously need to solve because we're losing talent and the potential for breakthroughs in the future.
If I could change one thing, I would just try and help women to just be themselves a little bit more, and to stop thinking that they need to be so many different things, because they're amazing.
It's probably longer than one thing. It's a little bit of a rant because I have a few things. I have a thing about more exposure for women in sports, to inspire younger generation to get really good role models, to have more women start businesses, so that actually, again, it's about aspirational targets, and to have equal pay right across the board, because women are successful like men, and I think we deserve the opportunity to excel.
I think the biggest thing would be for women to give each other less of a hard time. I think women are quite critical of each other, and I think helping each other out is really good. Like, men are always giving each other legs up. I think women need to do that more to each other.
If I could change one thing in the world today for women, what it would be men. And what I would like to change is misogyny, so it wouldn't exist anymore. How we do that, I don't know, but that's what I would like to change.
If I could change one thing for women in the world, well, equality would be nice. Having only ever worked in very much male-dominated arenas my whole life, it would just be really nice to be heard and appreciated in exactly the same way as my male counterparts. That would be, I think that for me, across the board, equality.
Oh God, I mean, to tell you what saved the most money would be to get rid of men. Do rid of the Y chromosome. It's the most expensive thing in the world, so unfortunately it is. If you boil down most of the world's problems, they're male related.
Well, we're so lucky in this country that I was about to choose something that wasn't so life-changing, like for women to feel that they can speak completely freely with full self-expression and not try and sort of find their way into pleasing people. But in a worldwide stage, I'd like just women to be completely accepted that women were equal, obviously.
I think so many things really in the modern age. I think, the equality issue, the wage issue, freedom, so many things that need changing right here, right now, across the world, not just here in the UK, across the world. I think it's a very difficult time for women, particularly from a safety point of view, just pure safety really. It appalls me, the lack of safety for women across the world. So that would be the main thing.
So many things need to change for women today, now. We all need decent education. One thing, family planning. Basic human right, really. Or if I could be really naughty, I'd like to give everyone a personal trainer. It's really nice to have that, like, somebody to hold your hand and say, now do this and do that. It's nice.
I think 100% equality in every respect. We live in a city where people complain about, wages, but equality stretches across all kinds of walks of life. And having travelled the world, it's definitely something that I would want for all women.
Actually, I don't have children, but I have lots of friends that do, and I think there's a whole wall of people. When you've had children, you can't have work and you can't have your personal life, and I think there's a whole load of things that can be done where really intelligent women who drive forward really important agendas don't get the chance to do so, and I think we lose out a lot of brilliance in large organisations, small organisations, because women don't have that opportunity.
So probably just to have more love and peace and less war and destruction that we unfortunately have those days.
Oh gosh, one thing? I think we've got lots of things to change. Gosh, where do I start? There's so many things. I mean, just fairness in general, I think, really. An equal playing field.
Oh gosh, that's a good one. I think probably the assumption that everyone has about women, whether that's that they're going to be mothers, whether they're going to fall into a certain lifestyle or not. If I could, I would change it so that everyone was just seen as a person rather than you're assumed to be this, that and the other.
Oh, that's a tough question. I would have to think about that, but I was given a sculpture by someone I'm working with at the weekend, and what I loved about it was that it's of a female face, and she's incredibly strong. You can tell that she's had quite a few battles in her life, but she has this quiet dignity. I think women are amazing, their capacity to love and to forgive. One wish for them. Oh, I'd have too many wishes for women.
I don't know if I could follow that. That's pretty good. I think it would just be incredible for there to be equality with the genders and for everyone to be standing together and,
I think every woman has the right to education and opportunity, and it's really the key to bringing societies kind of up in the world and really transforming them, and so it's something we should be working towards for every young girl in the world.
I don't know, it's difficult now because I think we really can have so much. So in our generation, in our lifetime, we've been able to, there's no ceiling, there's no glass ceiling in our experience. So if that could be something that could happen all over the world, that would be incredible, because we're very, very lucky that is our experience, and we kind of can take it for granted really easily. I think, when you hear about other people struggling, you think, really, does that really happen still? And it seems so archaic when some women are suppressed in work and love and life. So I think if that could be all around the world, it'd be a better place.
If I could change one thing for women today, wow, that's a really hard question. I think equality.
A safe place for women
and equality for women, because women has been discriminated for long time, and we deserve to live a life as a human being equally with men.
I think I'd have to. I think if there was complete gender equality, then there would be a lot of things that would umbrella a lot of things that are wrong with society today, actually.
Gosh, well, there's lots of things you could change for women around the world, although it's kind of difficult, isn't it? Because it's hard not to judge other people's cultures as well. But I think a one closer to home, perhaps, would be equal pay and discrimination in business against women.
I'm not a person that wants to change anything, because I actually think that by learning from our mistakes, we get better. And that mistakes are as important as finding solutions. And you never find the solutions unless you've made the mistakes. So I am one to let life unfold and take it, where it goes. But what's really important is to always have the best intentions in your mind at all times. There's no night without day. Everything's a duality. You can't have one without the other.
What I would change for women and actually for all kids is that education was still free. I think it's an absolute disgrace and a crying shame that kids are having to pay so much money now for uni. It should be free. I mean, everyone needs an education.
I think we put ourselves down all the time, and Our This Girl Can campaign has had such resonance because everybody recognises that dialogue you have in your head that says I'm not quite clever enough, pretty enough, thin enough, and actually you are. And even if you aren't, it doesn't really matter that much. And I would change that dialogue. I would turn it off.
I'd just like equality, and unfortunately I think we're a long way from that and going further away.